Hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max. I'm your host, Sean Garmer, here with me as usual, Mr. Mark Morrison.
Howdy.
And this is episode 497. And sorry for not having a show last week. I fell asleep. And Sunday was Father's Day, so we did not have another day that we could do a makeup show. So here we are doing 2 weeks of stuff in one episode, even though thankfully there's not like a ton of things, just some major things that we have to get into, which include Xbox once again doing their thing where they have a wonderful summer game fest and their showcase and all that stuff. And then the week after, the hammer comes down, where there's a 100 next 100 days is a reset, which may include and already rumored layoffs and studio closures. So we will talk about those. And we also have the Valve. Valve actually finally provided us with the Steam Machine prices, which I think they're probably more expensive than most people thought. So we'll get
Nope,
into that.
not me.
I mean, that's the one for the 2 terabytes ridiculously crazy. That's almost $1,500. But yes, we have that. We have some other things. Sea of Thieves has a movie, incredibly. I guess they are doing some kind of push into movies, even though Asha says they're not. And some other things going on as well. So we'll get into all that and more right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
All right, so, well, let's go ahead and get this out of the way here with the housekeeping. We normally do the show on Tuesdays a little bit earlier than this, but I got behind with work, and then I forgot I hadn't done the news. So thankfully, Marc helped me a little bit so we could start before it turned the next day. And well, we are live right now.
2 minutes before.
Yeah, minutes before. And you can also, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, W2M Now, where you can know when we go live, you can subscribe, hit that button, hit the follow button, all that, and you know when the show is going on. You can watch us live, as some people are right now, which we appreciate. And then you can also just watch on demand later, whenever you want. And hello to y'all folks there. So anyway, thank you so much for that. And we are on other platforms as well. You can watch us on W2 Network on Twitch, on Facebook, on Kick, wherever it is you prefer. You can watch us there. And also, if you subscribe to the channel, you can also get our other shows that are part of the network as well. If you like anime, you got the Otaku Cafe guys doing a great job reviewing all the seasonal stuff they do every week. Matt especially does a fantastic job. Always got to give him, awesome credit for that. And of course, the Routledge Broadcasting people doing all their entertainment stuff, the movies that they pretty much review every week. And last week they already did Toy Story 5 this week. So if you wanted a review of Toy Story 5 that you haven't heard yet or watched it, you can definitely go do that. And of course, you can listen with your ears on podcasts. Just go find whichever one you want to listen to, or all three, and hit subscribe. And anytime there's a show, it will pop up in your feed. So there you go. Although I will say I'm sorry that the Routledge one has like a gazillion ads because Spreaker is weird with that thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and get going here. I've not been playing any games, honestly. Just it's been World Cup all the time for me. So plus work has been ridiculous, so I can't like play while I'm doing other things. So
one of those is justified. The other is the World Cup. So
what? It only comes around every 4 years, Mark. Some of us are sports fans, Plus, it helps a lot that the U.S. is actually doing really well. So 2 wins out of 2. Let's see what happens on Thursday with the third game. But even though that game doesn't matter. But either way, yes, let's not talk about soccer for a second here. Yeah, you've been playing Hell Is Us, which is a game
Yeah.
that came out last year. From the Nacon folks. And have you got Lost yet?
They just published it, but it's some other company, or I think it's some other people made it.
Well, it's one of their studio. I don't know if it's one of the studios that got affected by all the mess that's going on.
I mean, they don't have like a Wikipedia page, so yeah, I guess it's hard to kind of parse out. But yeah, it's a real interesting game. I would like it's very Dark Souls kind of esque, but not really. Like it's not like bonfires and
it's the developer's Rogue Factor. By the way, so.
Yeah, it's not like bonfires, you generate enemies or anything. But yeah, it's like a third-person action game, kind of. But it's very environmentally puzzle focused.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like there's no map. Like the game spells it out like basically at the start. Like we don't have a map in this game. And that's intentional. So you got to really pay attention.
I mean, they made that a big deal in all of the marketing and whatever, that they were not going to have.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it from their perspective of like, yeah, if you have a map, it doesn't make it like really brain dead easy.
Right.
I probably would have split the difference a little and give you like a map that you can fill in, or the map that fills in as you explore.
Right. Yeah,
that's what
that
I
could
would
have
have
done
too. Because it is kind of hard to keep track of like, oh, I can't access this vault because I need these 2 stupid keys. What keys do I like? Should I write this shit down? I mean, there is a journal system that is pretty helpful, but like not always entirely. But yeah, I really like the game so far. I'm about 5 hours in. I've hit the 3rd area, but I stopped playing before I really explored it. But yeah, third-person action game. Like melee focus. You have a drone they can use to like attack enemies kind of, or like distract them, but it's pretty not one-off, but like you just can't like use it all the time. It has to take time to recharge. So yeah, you're mainly just like attacking enemies with like swords and shit like that, axes and crap, but I really like it. I think the aesthetic is interesting, and like the world is like really fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. There was a lot of it has good reviews as well. A lot of people liked it last year.
Yeah, I'm playing it because someone I know was like really high up on it, and I got access to it. So I was like, I'll give this a shot. So
Right.
But yeah, I'll keep plugging away at it. And yeah, I think it'd be like a good game for Jens actually, because he'd probably like enjoy a lot of it, but he's busy bitching about Euphoria finally, and he finally watching that. So
Euphoria.
Yeah,
I'm still on like season 1 of that.
So. He like marathoned it in like a week, or like a week and a half or something.
Yeah,
I mean, it helps that like there's only 22 episodes of the whole, or like 24 episodes of the whole goddamn show.
Well, House of Dragon just came back, so I'm stuck on that now.
Yeah, but here's the funny thing: I'm playing Hell Is Us, and I'm watching Picket Fences, which is like an early '90s dramedy. Like, I think it was on CBS. And one season of that is 22 episodes.
Really?
And that's how I'm just watching that. I'm like, this is how TV used to be.
It
used to be an experience. And
HBO was always kind of one of the few that didn't do that.
Yeah, HBO would always tend to have like 13 episode seasons for like Oz, like The Sopranos and shit like that. Game of Thrones would like 10.
Right.
And then like,
but they were so high budget, it's like they have to do that because then they're spending.
Yeah, I can justify that to an extent. Like, Game of Thrones is not The Sopranos, or not, Arliss, or, anything like that. Like, yeah, it has like a lot of locations, a lot of extras, stuff like that. But like, Euphoria, 8 episode seasons, no.
Are they really going a lot of places that it's going to,
Right.
But I mean, it's also like, they're artsy. So I think that's a little bit different than.
Yeah, that's what Jens was talking about. Like certain episodes in like season 2 are like really shot well and stuff. But I would rather, at that point, I would kind of almost rather have quantity.
And also remember the like the all-star cast that they have for that thing,
right?
That they're paying a bunch of money. So the more episodes you have, the more money you got to pay. So
yeah.
You got that too.
But it's nice to like watch old shows from like the 90s or 2000s where you actually have like full seasons of something.
Yeah, it is weird now. It's like very, very rare. Uh,
I
yeah,
mean,
I mean,
no show has over 20 episodes a season. I don't think, unless it's like Abbott Elementary. It might approach that kind of, but like
yeah.
look at like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like it used to
Well,
have.
and one of our commenters mentioned One Piece. I mean, that's made like that because of all the. I mean, that's a lot of money that they had to use with those sets and
Right,
all the other things too. I mean, and Netflix just that's the way they do their thing too. They don't do these elongated seasons either. So
right.
um,
But it's also hard to like encapsulate an anime like One Piece into 3 seasons or 13 episodes or 12 episodes.
yeah, I mean, they're having to do that in blocks, and
Right.
they've already kind of talked about like there's no way they're going to get to the end of that. Like I
Oh yeah.
think they're going to do like I think they said 6 seasons maybe. Like it's going to get to Marineford probably, and that's about
Oh,
it.
One Piece.
No, I'm talking about the Netflix One Piece. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It only has 3 seasons.
Yeah, well, I'm saying it's. They're saying that they may do more than just the Alabasta, sorry, but they're gonna get to like maybe Marineford, and that's about it. It's way too
Okay.
big.
Oh,
It's way
you
way
meant
too
like
big.
you meant in like comparison to like
The
the
entire
anime.
the entire
Yeah.
they're not gonna be able to do the entire series. Like those
Right.
people, all the actors will be like what in their 40s or whatever at the time like they're doing that.
Well,
Like yeah.
that's the fun thing about that new Harry Potter show. It's like by the time they finish that, Harry's gonna be in his like early 20s or mid 20s.
I mean, but that's kind of the point. So, that's the thing that happened with all the other Harry
And
Potter.
John Lithgow will be dead.
Yeah, well, but all right.
Yeah,
Done talking
LSS
about
is really
TV
good.
show stuff.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some other things that are not because Xbox and their movie stuff. But let's go ahead and start with some of the things from this week, and then we'll kind of because Xbox's stuff is kind of bleeds through both weeks. We'll kind of
Right.
get into that earlier, but the big story of this week is the Steam Machine finally
Yep.
had their pricing revealed. Not only that, but as soon as the pricing got revealed and the whole pre-orders became available, reviews started popping up for the Steam
Yeah.
Machine.
This is what they did with the Steam controller, and I think
Yeah,
even the Steam Deck. So yeah, it makes sense.
and they're all over the place. There are people that think it's the most amazing thing ever for being a mini PC that you can put under your TV. There's
Right.
people that are already talking about it can barely run 007.
Yeah, I watched the Linus Tech Test video, and he was bitching about that. And
I mean,
yeah,
but that's the thing though. If let's be honest here, you got your segment of people that are going to buy that thing to play the indies and whatever, but also paying $1,000 to be an indie machine is kind of expensive. But if you're going to get casuals to buy it, they're going to buy it to want to play the games that are out right now, the big games that are out right now, and then eventually GTA 6. And how the hell is that thing going to run on Steam Machine? And let's I forgot to say that some of this stuff was on medium settings. We're not even talking about like they're trying to do it on high or ultra. We're talking about like just kind of the general settings. They couldn't run some games so at 60 frames or even run them well without like frame gen being on and all that stuff. So this is a machine that like you got to temper your expectations and know what you're getting into. I would definitely make sure you tell your friend that is interested about buying this like what it does, and don't just be like, oh yeah, go buy it, because they may get really upset at spending $1,000 for something that can't run all the games that they want to be able to at some point. But it's 1,049 retail for the 512 gigabyte version without the controller,
yeah,
and 1,349 for the 2 terabyte version without the controller. So that you can add on money for the versions with controllers, which are $1,128 for the 512 and $1,428 for the 2 terabyte with the controller. And you can do your configurations for whatever area of the world you live in which look astronomical when you're getting into $2,000 prices for some of these things, depending on where you live. So this has got to be even more of a niche than Steam Deck, right? Like, how many people around here are going to buy this thing?
I don't know. I think it'll sell out within the first hour. You know, when it
How
launches.
many of that's going to be scalpers thinking they're going to make money?
Maybe some, but I don't think it'll be as like they have that lottery system, so that helps. You know, you can't just buy 200 of these things at launch.
Right.
Or so that'll quite help. But yeah, I mean, what do you think?
I think it'll do fine. Like, it'll sell out because all these things sell out.
Right.
Even at these astronomical prices, people will find the money and whatever if they really want it. It's also not something that you like gotta have. Like, do you really not have a laptop or PC or something at this point, unless yours is like really old and you want to play like games that are on Steam and only on Steam, which there are a lot, to be fair.
I mean, to me, I saw a lot of people bitching about this thing, yesterday and today. What people are complaining about is a profound misunderstanding of the market. People are comparing this thing to a PS5. It's not that. Even games like 1-to-1. I think Linus did like Final Fantasy VII. I think it was not the second one, the first one remake.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, this thing is running at half the speed of, or half the FPS of a PS5." And he like made like he also like made his own like Steam bot or Steam machine like competitor, or like kind of like a
right. I remember him announcing that.
Yeah. And it's like that. This thing is not designed to play the newest games on 4K.
Right.
Like,
it's not.
This thing has three main goals. Like to be in your living room and to have a small footprint, basically. To not have to deal with Windows when you game, and access to your Steam library where you have hopefully access to 20,000 games over the past 25 years. Like, that's what this thing is. It's not, if you want to play GTA 6 on this, hey, it'll probably run badly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, right? Is just this is designed to be like a mid-level PC where you can run some things, but there's going to be things that are just totally out of reach for it.
Yeah, I would say like maybe not even mid-level, like slightly below that possibly. But that's not the aim. Like I said, like the aim of this thing isn't to run bleeding edge 4K gaming. The aim of this thing is just to get you in the ecosystem, or like
and it's using AI and stuff to run and frame gen, whatever it is, to be able to do a lot of work. So it's not like, it's not like, again, like they didn't put imagine if they would have put the components in here for it to be comparable to a PC that can last for a while. My God, it would have been even more expensive.
Yeah, at that point, it would be like a $3,000 machine. And I was like, yeah, that'll be real affordable for people.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I saw,
and it was supposed to cost $750,
right?
Originally, which would have been great if they really would have been able to somehow get that without all this crap happening.
I imagine the $750 might have been like just for the base model.
Yeah, of course.
And the $1,000 would be for the good model, basically.
But I think that's fine. Like, it's like $750. That's $100 more than a PS5 and a Xbox Series, and this is a PC. Like, it could do PC things and also play games that you can't play anywhere else. Like, it's and there's so many that are never going to come to console. So it's like there is an advantage there, but then when you're talking about 1,000, 1,100 for the base model with a controller, which you don't have to have that controller, you can get cheaper controllers, but
I mean, I would even say even at like 1,100, I mean, I'd probably get the one of the bigger hard drive. But even like
Yeah.
1100, like if you didn't have a console already and you have any interest in PC gaming, it's still a decent alternative.
Yeah,
But
if you don't have something like, okay, if I had not bought my laptop
yeah,
last year, I would be considering it just because of the
right.
games that I play, right? The
I mean,
indies, the stuff that's small. It's not going to be a problem.
Jens doesn't have a PC. He hasn't had one for years, and he's like desperately wanting this thing. And he signed up for the wait list, and so did I, just to help him
Yeah,
out in case I
right.
get in somehow. But yeah, he wants this thing because he doesn't want a big ass PC in his like desk or in his living room.
Yeah,
And also, this thing will play whatever he wants, Monkey Island or shit like that,
yeah.
well enough for sure. So
I think that is also the case. Like, I think if you like to play the games where you play with friends, right, that are big on PC right now, and you want to have that under your TV, and you don't have to be everybody has to be sequestered to their own laptop. I think that's a great idea for that if it was cheaper. Right? It's just
right,
it's really hard to tell somebody there's a set. I mean, there is a much cheaper. It's $300, $400 cheaper PS5 or Xbox out there you can buy, or you spend more money to get this, and it's like it's very hard to do. To recommend that to people.
I just view it as like an apples to oranges comparison. Where like, yes, you could spend $700 and buy a PS5. I'm kind of including the TV also. Like everyone already has a TV, so it doesn't matter. But
Right.
$700 to buy a PS5, where you have a much smaller game library, but the games are the newest ones.
You don't have to worry about running them; they will run.
Right. Versus the Steam box or Steam machine, which has much older games, but might have some compatibility issues. But
Right.
it has 30,000 or 30 times as many games as the PS5 will ever have. So,
but how many people are out there really looking for those old games? That's the only thing.
Right. I mean, that's enough. But assuming that you've had a Steam account for
right
5 years or 10, however long. Like I'm sure you already have a 500 games on Steam or whatever. So
yeah, that's true. You have access to that library, and I should mention that starting Thursday, you have to have signed up before Thursday because the one-time randomization will take place to determine the reservation and waitlist order. And
right.
Then the first batch of Steam Machine deliveries will begin on June 29th, which is on Monday. So having it pretty quick here for everybody.
I mean, so this thing ultimately doesn't interest me or you because we have gaming laptops that are better than this thing.
Right.
But, there is a pretty large chunk that might have an older laptop or older PC or no PC, and they just fall out of PC gaming. And this is a good way to go.
I think also it's a very nice thing you could take to somebody's house,
right,
and set up and play, right. Which again would be helped a lot more if it was cheaper. But from that aspect, I think that's great. Like that's something that I thought about, when I still had my significant other of like, oh, okay, I could take this,
right.
I could get this and like take this and play this at her house, and I don't like moving my laptop, especially when I'm still technically paying for it. I don't want to touch.
Right.
I don't want to move it anywhere. But it's very much like those use cases. The people that really want to be able to play with their family or be out there in the living room and not be in your room stuck looking at a screen, or the same kind of screen as somebody that works with a PC all day, and then you're coming over here to play a game. Sometimes it makes it very much like I don't want to be in front of another PC, so I can see that from some people's perspective too. But this will go down in price eventually. I hope eventually. I don't know. I mean,
once in 2028.
Yeah, like I don't know. Will they be coming up with another Steam machine by the time this thing goes down in price?
No, because look at the Steam Deck. Like that hasn't had a significant upgrade
Yeah.
except for the.
Well, they are
screen,
thinking of doing the Steam Deck too. They just said that the technology has to have advanced enough
right.
for them to feel like it's worth it to make a Steam Deck too. So
The two funny things I saw from Jeff, I watched like his bit about it was his first comment was like finally a GameCube that actually has games you want to play on it.
nice.
And the second he was talking about like I watched part of his podcast today. He's talking about like if you try to buy like a gaming PC now that's like fully featured or like highest settings or whatever, you're looking at like $6,000.
Oh yeah,
and it's like why would you do? I mean, even if the prices weren't insane, like even if it was like $3,000, like $3 to $4,000, like kind of how
that's still ridiculous.
But like, why would you do that? Because PC hardware doesn't change that much. Like, at least, especially nowadays, like if the 4070 compared to like the 5070, it's like okay, the 5070 is like better with like video processing or encoding. That's about it. Like game performance might go up a few FPS, but who cares?
Right.
It's not like a generational leap like how it used to be. So
I mean, that just goes for everything, really, at this point.
But like this thing shooting for like very mid-range specs, it's like because believe me, Steam has or Valve has hardware surveys going back 15 years. They know what people play on. So I think people kept putting those things up on Steam to gather data of most people were just playing like a 1070 back then anyway. So if we have a GPU that can do like 80% of gaming, it's good enough.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So I think people are like way too obsessed about like, having some like beast computer or anything like that. And it's like you need lives.
Yeah, not everybody has to have that. It's fine, depending on what you play. It is what it is.
Or caring too much about like FPS or anti-aliasing or all that stupid crap. It's like get on. I'd rather the game play well than look great.
Right.
So.
But all right, I think we kind of covered that.
Yeah.
Again, go check out reviews for yourself. If you want to, you're interested in it, and make your decision accordingly on that.
Right.
But another big thing people have been waiting on. You won't have to wait very much longer to pre-order it, at least, as Rockstar did the big reveal of the Grand Theft Auto 6 cover or box art or whatever you want to call it. It's the only game that would merit a trailer for the freaking box art. It's Grand Theft Auto. Absolutely crazy that you can. That game is so the game series is so beloved and so anticipated that you can do a 30-second trailer for a freaking box art. But yeah, it's there, and on June 25th you can start pre-ordering the game. I guess we won't know until the pre-orders go live what the price is going to be, even though there's been a leak or whatever, but we don't know. There you go. You got the main characters in the middle and some other, as customary.
The corner,
the helicopter, the motorcycle, the other thing. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not gonna pre-order it just because I don't do pre-orders, but I'll definitely be getting this game day one.
If the pre-order was like, if you pre-order it, will give you like the trilogy definitive edition for free or something. That might be worth it.
Yeah.
Or it'll probably just be like, oh, if you pre-order it, you get $100,000 in GTA online cash or something. But like, no
Scott's like, imagine being the marketing man at GTA. Yeah. How much scrutiny is he under right now? Like, oh. Make sure none of this stuff gets leaked. Nah.
Right.
Yeah, when are they going to have that? Everybody's, of course, is waiting for that trailer 3 whenever they're going to pop that thing out there. I would make interesting if you do that the same day you're going to have the pre-orders go live, which makes sense if you do it there. But
yeah, I mean, they still haven't shown very little of actual gameplay of that game. So
it's Grand Theft Auto. Like we kind of know what it is at this point.
yeah, but showing like actual fidelity or showing like how
Yeah.
the game's actually going to look would
I
be nice,
mean,
as opposed to just
it
cutscenes and
runs
that.
in engine when they show those. It says it's in engine in those trailers. So I
Yeah, they can say
mean,
a lot though.
yeah, but at least on PS5 Pro, it's gonna look nice. It's
Right.
gonna have like the third version of their PSSR or whatever.
Just like Halo showing off the PS5 Pro version first.
Yeah, of course. We always got a Xbox. So I mean, look, they're trying to make money. Of course, if you have another version of the damn thing that's better than your console, you got to make it look good on there because you want to play it on that thing.
Right.
I think people getting mad about it. It's like, yo, they want to sell the damn thing on PlayStation. If you make it be borked on the PS5 Pro, people are just not going to buy the thing. The whole point is for them to buy it. Y'all got to stop with the console war nonsense. Eventually, get stupid, guys. Like, stop.
Yep.
Speaking of console war nonsense, I guess we have console and PC war going on. According to Newzoo, $201.6 billion of revenue after the end of 2025 is where the gaming industry is at. A whopping 9.1 year over year increase. PC delivered a 12% boost year over year with 43.6 billion in revenue, and console barely beat it out at 44.7 billion. Again, that boost in PC keeps happening. Would not be surprised if we talk about in 2026 PC beats out console.
Right.
And then of course mobile, which is ridiculous, makes up like at least 2/3 of that number, or at least half. $113 billion, which is up 10.7%, which is incredible in of itself. Yeah, and that's with people. We're going to talk about a bunch of layoffs happening at smaller
Yep.
studios. We're going to talk about layoffs happening at big studios. We're talking about layoffs happening at big companies. And with all of that, we still have this incredible increase in the whole gaming industry, and they're still anticipating more, obviously off the back of the $8 billion that Take-Two itself thinks it's going to get up in revenue thanks to GTA 6. And that's, of course, is going to spread to the whole industry itself, namely also Xbox and PS5, which will definitely have consoles get sold because of it. And, also just it's going to be a boom for the industry, but, AAA gaming costs have gone up. It's ridiculous. It costs $300 million to make a AAA game now.
Right.
It's crazy. It's like we're talking about movie numbers, like for a freaking game. So
Yeah. I mean, the benefit, I guess, is like, a game will cost 70 or $80, so that helps quite a bit.
yeah, but
Movie tickets are
still,
$10, but
it's a lot. That's a lot.
right.
But it just kind of shows again. It's we talk about this in the like macro and micro point of view at times, and then you kind of forget like there's a whole other part of industry of people that buy games that never give two craps about what we're saying or any other podcast is saying. They just go out and buy games, and they don't care about any of this stuff. And this is where you
Right.
get these numbers, and then it's just kind of left with the other things that are there, which is unfortunate, of people losing jobs at a alarming rate, and it will continue to continue, I'm sure.
Yep.
Fortunately. So speaking of companies that are doing amazing, Capcom, which is without Onimusha Way of the Sword even coming out, has already won this year, pretty much. There's some news on RE Veronica and RE0 remakes, and there's also news on not having RE5 and RE6 remakes. This is, of course, from the Dust Golem guy insider that all the RE leak stuff comes from. apparently because Ari Veronica and Zero were being made at the same time as Requiem, they apparently are going to be tied to Requiem in a way. Of course, Capcom is basically redoing the whole lore of Resident Evil every time they remake one of these games.
Right.
Which some people like because it all kinds of makes it all intertwined, and some people can't stand because then they're just redoing stuff that's existed for a long time, like in the case of Veronica. Zero is probably just going to be made better because Zero has the terrible tank controls that nobody likes anymore. So that being said, and then they have apparently no plans to remake RE5 and 6 at this point.
I mean,
there's a lot of rumors for a while that RE5 was in the works, so interesting.
Right. Believe me, I think RE5 and 6 are coming down the pipeline. So
yeah, they'll eventually. I know that they say that they have no intention of doing it, but it's like if you're redoing all of the story stuff and all this, like adding things and taking things out and remixing it and all that stuff, is like you're gonna do every game but those two. Like it's gonna get to a point where you're gonna do them because you want to remake.
Well, plus at that point, way further down the line, they can start remaking Resident Evil 1 again.
Well, Resident Evil 1 getting remade makes sense because it's been a while, like since GameCube. So, hey, Jordan, what's going on? Yes, you're right. They will do it. Jordan, of course, from the Outer Haven and Analytic Gaming, amazing person over there, handling things by himself. Sometimes almost feels like. Yeah, this is look, and then also you got the news of Capcom, thanks to some certain stores popping it up, and it makes sense because we talked about September 25th, September 24th. It feels like every freaking game is decided they want to come out that week, and Capcom is possibly, maybe they haven't officially announced it themselves, but September 4th might be when it's coming out now instead of September 25th, which should move it up 3 weeks, move it clear of all those games fighting for attention at the bottom, including Control Resident and Silent Hill Townfall. Better move for them?
Sure. I mean, it's only a few days, so
that's not just that's 3 weeks.
It's
like that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of people's, like, you could now actually, what I was concerned about, which is like having all the money for the games. Now it's like, oh, I can actually buy this, play on Onimusha, and then you get down to the September 25th and 24th, and then you can make your decision again. Like, okay, do I want Control? Do I want both of them and just play one and then get the other? So I think that's good for the industry when you don't pack everything in like that. It's already review hell when you get to like September, October, and everything is so packed in now because nobody wants November at all. So yes, please move some more of your games somewhere else. So we're not all trying to play the same games at the same time, in the same freaking time period, which is ridiculous.
Forget that, man. Just go rent it.
Go rent it. Where am I going to? At GameFly? I hope it comes to my door. No. Plus you got the Dawn Walker also coming out that week, and then Marvel's Marine is coming out September 15th. So it kind of gives you a little bit of, in between with all that stuff too. So good on Capcom for, just like Jordan said, developer and publisher of the year, already got it locked up. So yeah, I know Jordan's been excited for Blood of the Dawn Walker, so I can totally see what he means, but I don't know. I'd rather it be just one game that's coming out in the same time frame instead of like 5. So we'll see. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to. Okay, I'll get to all this other small stuff in a second. Let's move on to Xbox, which, like I said at the beginning, this has been a theme with them for the last, feel like, couple of years, where you have this amazing showcase, you're talking about them, and once again, the term that I'm going to give Ryan McCaffrey, because he's the one that kind of just talked, he's the one that brought it up. Stepping on rakes. They can't stop doing it. It felt like maybe with Asha Sharma out there, like leading the revolution of listening to all of the diehards and getting all these small little wins, and then you have a cool showcase, and then it's like, oh, reality
Right.
is setting in. Now, let's be absolutely clear. No one in Xbox has said the layoffs are happening or that studios have been closed. These are reports and rumors. And now, I will say this in this 100-day reset thing that Asha Sharma put out herself, which she's now done twice, which I appreciate the transparency. Like Phil and Sarah would have never done that. She's being smart. Like the shit's gonna leak anyway, so why not put it out there for everybody to read? Just let people. Now you're using all this flowery language, but she says it at the bottom. She says it at the end. There's gonna be things that are gonna frustrate you, things that are going to surprise you. When somebody says things are gonna frustrate you, surprise you like that, and we can't hide behind hard truths, she is pretty much telling you some stuff you don't want to happen is going to happen. What that actually means, obviously, still got time to come because apparently they may not be happening until July or whatever. But right now, the reports are not Xbox stating this. Reports are that supposedly Senyo was brought out at Showcase in order to get investors to want to buy Ninja Theory. And now Ninja Theory are trying to basically negotiate their own way so they can just negotiate with who they want to buy them. Right?
Yep.
Then there are also rumors of the other small studios. This is according to Bloomberg, which again, and VGC and other people that are credible people. We're not talking about like leakers and stuff, but again, it's also not Xbox. So let's put that out there. But supposedly also on the list are Compulsion and Double Fine, which, considering that Asha has talked about the franchises that they are beholden to and that they have not been able to make money off of, when you look at the things you can part with, are those are the smaller studios, right? Like,
well, they're all studios that don't have franchises.
except Psychonauts, I would say is.
Well, I was going to say Double Fine has Psychonauts, but they're not like hard at work in Psychonauts 3, or
we don't know that. We don't know if they are or not. But they could be, but they like doing their game jams and all that stuff. So, and Jordan's right. They got way too big, and she mentions that. She says that in that one. You know what? This is actually not like a gazillion pages long like the other one that she put out. So I'm going to read some of this, not the fluffy stuff that makes no sense to read because it contradicts what she's saying. But she mentions that there's a 3% accountability margin, that they're down over year. Excluding Activision Blizzard King, they over the past 5 years, they spent $20 billion on investments involving content, platform, and hardware subsidy. Their annual revenue has declined nearly $500 million during that time. This cannot continue going forward. It's a business. Makes sense, right? They can't do that. The hardware components have now gone up 5 times the price that they were paying just 2 years ago. Something they can't. It's not their fault. Everybody's dealing with that. Right? We've expanded our studio system when we needed a pipeline of content and multiple strategies across subscription, streaming, and devices. Game Pass. And now they have overspent on that. And now they have to be able to take these industry-defining franchises that have enormous potential and player demand, and we have not adequately funded them to compete and win. At the same time, we saw this past weekend a showcase of a reliable pipeline of first and third-party exclusives and new IP are critical to our success. We need to reassess the balance between these and our investment priorities for the next 5 years. Our current platform infrastructure is not built for battle ahead. Our systems are overly complex, which has been said by a lot of devs and a lot of people that Xbox is too complicated And that's something that Asha said that they needed to do with Helix and make it a lot easier, especially if you're going to have the PC and the Xbox like dual thing going on, where maybe you're just making one SKU for both instead of making two like you used to. And she also again mentions M&A, which is interesting because again, you thought, oh, when they're done with Activision King, Black Blizzard King, they're not doing this. So are you going to lay people off and shut down studios to then go buy other studios? Man, that looks really bad.
Yeah, but that's what
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
on that.
right. And Jordan is right. That Ninja Theory is valuable because of their technology. And they would be an odd one to close for that. I agree. And they've also been a developer that or a studio that Xbox itself has said has helped the other studios be able to do things when they make games. So it's also an odd one in that way that because of their technology, they've been able to help the other studios be able to, kind of get things done faster or kind of be able to pick their brain and say, okay, how do you do this with your games so that we can do it with ours? The way you should when you have all these studios that you have on in your pipeline. But yeah, I agree with Jordan. I am worried about compulsion games. South of Midnight was a wonderful little game that I liked a lot, but
no, they're toast.
Yeah,
I mean, so Double Fine. I mean,
I'm going to be so sad at Double Fine.
Here's the thing. I would say compulsion is toast, like, period. I would say Double Fine has a chance possibly, like, of just going indie or, pulling a Bungie or pulling a...
somebody investing in them because of their name.
Marathon.
Right? Or Tim Schafer.
But here's the problem. Like, who would do that? Look at, like, what Double Fine has made in the past 8 years. They made Guild, which...
And would Xbox allow them to take Psychonauts with them?
I think they would, because what are they going to do with it?
Right.
I mean, hell, look at... It's funny to do Psychonauts, so they can do fucking Blinks the Time Sweeper, But, like, what has Double Fine done? They did Kiln, which no one really liked, or no one played, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's a very small number, yeah.
That Keeper game, which, sure, it got good reviews, but again,
I liked it. It's a very artsy game. It's not for everybody.
Right. You basically get to do a one for me, one for them. And the one for them was Psychonauts 2, which was
and that was already in development before they bought it.
Yeah,
so it's not like
So they did the two for Tim, and that didn't quite pan out. I would say, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with Compulsion. Like, I know you like South of Midnight. I think that's the name of it.
South of Midnight, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But
Jordan points out that they could easily do what they with Toys for Bob, where they spin it off and then let them do their thing. And
but like, look at their like past two games. Like, I hated We Happy Few, and
I think a lot of people were not big on We Happy Few.
The funny thing to me is if they somehow did spin off Ninja Theory or it went independent and Sony buys them and just makes Senua a PS5 exclusive.
That would be interesting.
That they do like the most, and then like they just dump Senua into God of War.
New
one.
Yeah, that would also be funny in its own way. But like that's the thing is, Jordan mentions that like if they are going to do just focusing on the big IP, and they are going to like whether it's would they consider buying like. I really hope they don't go the route of buying an entire publisher again because that's just too much. It's like
I mean they are speedrunning the Activision playbook and they learned nothing from Activision. Activision only eventually focused on Call of Duty or like the big IP. And look where that it landed them.
Yeah,
and even like on Xbox's like big franchises or like big studios like. They aren't making games that are good clicks except for like Obsidian. And I even saw rumors that like the rumors are like Arcane is gone or like close to being gone.
Yeah. Even though they did have the good news about Blade not too long.
But who knows, like Black Panther. Like they just get canceled next week, and the week after that, Arcane's done.
I mean, that's EA though. They will just do that. They are cutthroat about canceling,
So is
especially now.
Microsoft.
But
So I mean, but
yeah,
I even saw like a rumor that like they're thinking about closing Obsidian, and it's like if you
that
guys
would be
are
really sad, man. That's your
yeah
best studio.
yeah, it's like if
Like
you guys are really thinking about that, you guys are
they
crazy. Like
can't
what?
because that is their best studio. Like that is their
Right,
studio that puts out. Asha talks about gotta be fast. Gotta put out things faster. Gotta have you can't have these big franchises just sitting there for years doing nothing.
right.
That is a studio that puts out games at a clip, and Grounded is decent, does decently well. You got to have those lives. I think they're not just from the live service aspect of like, look, Grounded 2 doesn't do like light years a million things,
Right.
but it does decently enough, right? And I
I
think
mean,
you have to keep them around for that at least.
I would also say that like aside from the Sea of Thieves content thing, like Rare's probably done also. Like
I don't think you can let them go because of Sea of Thieves. Like,
right.
what are you gonna do? Just keep the Sea of Thieves team and then get rid of the rest? I mean, they could do that, I guess, but
Yeah, like what aside from Sea of Thieves, like what has Rare done? Like
I mean that's Microsoft's fault though, because
right.
they have Banjo Kazooie, and they could get somebody
I
a
mean,
team from Rare to do that. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people that worked on that game are gone and all that stuff, but
just
I'm just saying they could put those studios to do things. They just don't. They prefer to do the method of you do what you want to do. Well, the problem is when you do that and then they come out with things that don't do well, man, I don't know. Let them give them those franchises that they are known for and let the people that want to work on them work on them. It
just
sucks. You have
just
a
hired
treasure trove of franchises that you're never using.
just hired Toys for Bob to do a new Banjo Kazooie.
I thought that's
Shit.
what they were going to do, but they did Spyro. So, I mean, not complaining. Spyro looked great,
Right. I mean that's the
so
problem is like it's
yeah,
the EA problem as well. Like you have a company
yeah,
that has dozens, if not
right.
hundreds of
And Jordan
IPs.
brings up a good point. They don't need to do more. You already have Sea of Thieves. It's great. It's getting a movie for God's sakes. Like,
That's
we don't know if the movie is going to do great or not, but it's getting a movie. So
that's not gonna happen.
it, I'm telling you, it's happening.
I
You
mean,
know,
they say it's happening, but
they already got a big producer.
oh, like the Mass Effect movie when it had Avi Arad.
Okay, I'm not.
When
Xbox
when
is very
when
much about their
when
movies right now.
when
Okay.
Jerry Bruckheimer was going to do Bioshock, you know,
Well, that look, we could go down the list of
right?
things that didn't happen. Horizon didn't happen either. Like,
Yeah,
but they are look, even though Asha is sitting there saying we're not gonna make everything into a movie. Obviously, you guys care enough about your movies right now. You got Call of Duty, you got the Gears of War thing, wherever that's at. They didn't say that they said they're probably not done with doing stuff with Halo, even though they had that horrid Paramount show.
right,
Um, you liked it way more than me, but whatever.
right.
Um, it, look, I think there's a point to this. If they got Minecraft to be a movie, now I know Xbox wasn't necessarily involved with that, but they got Minecraft to be a movie and people liked it. So could they do it with Sea of Thieves that has a similar like creative aspect and you're like doing things with your friends and all that stuff and you're the main character? It's not like somebody, right? So could they get it to work? Let's see. Interesting, right?
And then Disney just makes a Monkey Island movie instead, and people go see that. And
Yeah, I think Jordan brings up a good point in that if they are going to streamline this and say, okay, look, we're not giving you the budgets you used to have, but you're going to have enough of a budget to where it's like maybe we just get smaller games instead of the big, huge games that take forever to make. And that might be a way where Xbox can kind of win on that platform front, where Sony is still stuck on we got to spend $500 on all these big games that take 6 years to make. And,
$500 million, not
I'm
500.
exaggerating, but still 300, 200, 300 million, whatever. So listen, if you're spending way less and these games are coming out faster, like Asha says, it definitely helps Game Pass. I don't know about it helping, really pushing people to
it
buying the console,
it
but
won't, because that philosophy is what they already tried to do and it failed. Having like smaller games.
no, but I'm talking about smaller games with an IP that you know. I'm not talking about, South of Midnight and Avowed. Okay. So there's a difference there when you're putting out. I'm not talking about like an actual Halo game. Maybe you do the, okay, let's say you do the Halo and with the Johnson thing, but you expand it where it's like not just 3 levels, but it's like a whole game of that, right? It's not necessarily Halo, whatever number we're at now, 6.
Yeah, it is 6, I
Yeah.
guess.
So, well, wasn't Infinite 6? So, like,
Yeah.
it's not Halo 7, but it's something, right? And then you can that does well, right? Then you can go and have the team work on whatever the big Halo thing is. But obviously, they're going to do all of the campaign evolves first, so they're busy doing that. And I agree with Jordan again. It's like what Asha wants is consistency. It's a thing that Phil said he wanted for a long time, right? Where they wanted every quarter, you got to have a game, you got to have this. It's like, oh, we finally got that, but we spent way too much money getting there, right?
They only got it for one year also.
Yeah,
And
but
like
it took them so long. It took
her
them
like
so long.
pie in the sky, like, oh, I want Fable, or I want Fallout and Elder Scrolls to be more consistent releases. It's like, yeah, good fucking luck then.
Well, okay, but she does she does have a point in like focusing on. We definitely don't need to announce things like 5 years in advance, for one. That was just a mistake that they made because they had to get people excited for whatever was happening with Bethesda at that point. I don't think they would have done that now, you know. And it is what Jordan is saying. This is going to be a total full reset point, and I'm okay with that. Like, get your S together. That's what you need to do. You got to figure out what you're doing with Helix. They've said that they're rethinking whatever they're going to do with that, whatever that means. Whatever price points that means that they come up with that.
Did you see the rumors they're thinking about like not having third-party stores on Helix? And if they actually consider that is the craziest thing they could ever do. If they did that,
it
the thing is
doesn't really matter because you're gonna it's a PC. You're gonna be able to load those things on there.
Well, if they
clamp
that down,
you really think they would?
Yeah.
Give you you think they'd get to the point where they'd give you a version of Windows where you don't have access to Windows?
Yeah.
So you're essentially saying they're going to make another Xbox console instead of what they're supposed to make, which is a PC with the Xbox in it.
I think they are so beholden to like, we want our, the storefront and Game Pass to do well, that if they're like, we're not going to allow Steam on this thing.
But it never made sense in the first place. Like, once you allow Steam on your console is dead. Right. Why would I buy anything from the Microsoft Store if you're allowing me to go to another PC store where everything is cheaper? There's constant sales.
Yeah.
And there's games on it the Microsoft Store will never have. Why would I ever touch the Microsoft Store? It never made sense in the first place if you're going to have that console. So
then why have this thing if you're not going to have it be like an Xbox branded Steam machine, basically? Why have this thing be a PC at all?
Maybe because they're stuck and they can't go all the way back, because then it will not come out when they need it to come out, that's the problem. Is Asha was handed this thing. She didn't decide to make it,
Right.
And yes, it's what Jordan said. It may not be a PC anymore. I don't know how much of that they can remove out and decide that it is now just an Xbox again, which, look, the PC thing, I thought it was cool to be able to have that. and have all the access to the stores, and I think the ROG Ally is amazing for that and whatever. But yes, you're right. They are publicly rethinking it, but it's because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense the way it is.
The difference between like the ROG Ally and Helix is like Asus isn't a content company. Like they aren't making games themselves, so they're like, yeah, put whatever storefront you want in this ROG thing because we don't care. Like we're not getting a cut from like.
Well, Microsoft didn't care at that point either. So let's be fair.
I mean, I think Asus does have like some like weird storefront maybe, but no one cares about it. So.
The thing is, if you're going to have an Xbox console, you can only give them the ability to get into the Microsoft Store. The moment you allow, obviously, the moment you yourself allow anybody to download another store.
I mean, that's what like Epic was talking about. Yeah. Like, we're going to have a good relationship on this thing. It's like, why would Microsoft let you like?
Because at that time they were.
Right.
At that time, that was the whole point they were trying to sell was, okay, you can play your games wherever you want. You can download whatever store you want. You could buy it wherever we don't care. We just want to be everything for everybody. And that worked until they don't even know what messaging they were doing with that thing. And so now Asha's having to take that and go, fuck, Phil, you just fucked me. So, like, I'm having to just redo all of this stuff that you
and then
went out there and like totally, whatever.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's ultimately not Phil's. Phil is not the grand wizard, or he's not the ultimate.
Well, also Sarah Bond and also Satya.
Satya
is a huge problem with this.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the buck stops with him, not either.
Because it's Satya's fault they're in this position anyway. Because he's sitting there investing constantly in AI. They're a freaking investor in OpenAI, and then they're sitting there talking about, the components are 5 times more. It's like, it's your fault. Yeah. It's your fault. So, I'm just saying, like,
and this is why you can't have, Viva Pinata 3.
Right. And yes, Jordan is right. They were focusing on Game Pass at the time. Game Pass was the huge thing, but then of course they also hurt Game Pass by doing the stupid price increase, which I get they had to do at the time or whatever their reasoning was. It absolutely destroyed their subscriber numbers by having that thing go up, and
Game Pass doesn't work as a revenue generating idea because you have to invest in all the content to put it on the system.
But that's why they don't spend so much money on getting the newish games in there, because then they get to save money by having like, the one big indie here and maybe some like kind of anticipated AA game here and there, and that kind of thing.
I think ultimately, like, the initial like Ninja Theory and Double Fine and stuff, those ideas or those acquisitions could have worked, but they needed to actually have someone, Matt Booty or whoever, going like, hey, you need to make profitable games. And your idea or like their idea, like, we're going to make prestige titles like House of Midnight. It's like, who's buying this thing? Like, we don't care. Like, it could be the greatest game ever, but if only 10 people buy it.
Right. But I mean, I understood what Phil was trying to do.
But like, and it's the same problem. I mean, I'm not just bagging on House of Midnight. I mean, I would say Double Fine is like House of Midnight. I didn't really interest me, but it looks like an actual game. Yeah. But like what Double Fine has done for the past 8 years is like dick around and make 2 games that no one is going to buy.
Right. But I think, the whole point is like they are pretty much doing what Sony used to do. Right. The Sony Japan stuff, all the prestige stuff that they have now decided to do away with. Right. And essentially Astrobot is the only remaining sort of game like that's like, we're going to be funny and quirky and do weird things, and it's going to have the whole Sony history in it and all that stuff, right? Like Xbox was trying to do that of like, let me have these games that are maybe not for everybody on out there that just plays Call of Duty and EA Sports FC and all that, but the gamer, the hardcore gamer, like you get your little artsy games. And I think that was nice, and it was cool that Phil cared so much about games that existed. But unfortunately, the reality of everything that is just very much like movies. Everything's gone into these big franchises. Now what's happening, right? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, your idea, I mean, sure, but I think, like, back to the old IP problem of, like, Microsoft has so much IP now, especially, that they don't do anything with. And here's a good example. Like, Wolfenstein, not the new ones, not Wolfenstein, like the recent ones.
The old ones.
They made a 2009 Wolfenstein game. Raven put it out. That was pretty well regarded back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It was on Steam for like a year or something. They got yanked off forever. And it's like, why don't you put that back out there? Or you have a ton of games that are kind of just lost to time. Put it on Steam, or put it, even put it on the Xbox store. Like, it ain't going to generate a ton of income, but it'll generate some.
Yeah, but how much money does it cost them to put
nothing?
To go through all the work to put that back on there?
Wolfenstein runs. No,
I'm just saying. Like,
I mean,
I wonder what the
like Windows 95 game or something. Yeah, you'll need to pump it up or fix it. But like,
right,
they are very poor custodians of their IP. And them going like, oh, we're going to buy another studio, we're going to buy another publisher. It's like, not in a million years would I trust you with anyone.
Yeah, Jordan's bringing up the whole point of Game Pass was making, and it does make a profit if you do all of the fancy money stuff that they do with it, which they don't include any of the actual money spent on the studios and the studios' own games and all of that stuff, which again makes sense. They're only spending what they spend on the actual games that they put into the service. Having first-party studios apart from that doesn't mean that, that incurs on Game Pass. And yes, you are right that it did make a lot of money in its first 5 years because it was new and everybody liked it. And Xbox was spending a lot of money on getting big AAA games for that also. And then you had publishers that were willing to give you games for Game Pass. Now publishers have gone back to the well of going, I don't want my game on Game Pass because it will not sell unless you're Sega and they just love Game Pass. So it's like, and Atlas, but same company, but still, like, aside from them, everybody else has gotten to the point where it's just like, we'll give you the game on Game Pass later because we want to make money with our game first. And that's fine. They get to double dip. Microsoft gets to make money, but then also Microsoft pays less money at that point because the game's old. So that's the thing. It's like, now they're spending less. You're getting less, like, I'd say quality games, right? For the average player, I'm not talking about for the person that plays games all the time, like us, or plays the hardcore games or whatever, you still get some really cool things. There's still some things when I resubscribed to Game Pass like last month or whatever, and I found a lot of cool gems that have been on Game Pass that I kind of forgot because I didn't have it all the time. But it definitely is not, what it used to be because they've had to invest less, right? And they are still investing in, like, they have the ID at Xbox thing. They are still investing in other games and studios outside of their own first party. So, it's a thing that they have to look at all of this, like what they're spending on everything. And unfortunately, I hate this for the studios. I hate this for the people working at these studios. It's got to be mind-boggling right now to basically know that at some point the hammer could come down. And like, there's already, ZeniMax There's rumors of people at ZeniMax are talking about like they already know layoffs are happening. Like it sucks. It sucks to have to talk about that and have to know. But Asha says it at the bottom of this thing. For some of you, these realities will be surprising and even frustrating to discover. We won't succeed by hiding hard truths, nor will we succeed by doing the same thing and expecting different results. Duh. Like the everyday wins mentality from the first 100 days, we will sprint to make progress against hardware, content, experience, and services together. Yeah. Then they also got to figure out what they want, right? It's like somebody needs to sit in a room and go, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to be the number one publisher on planet Earth? Are we trying to be number one console wise and brand wise and all that? Right? Like, I think there's a little bit of like, you got to choose one,
right?
Because if you try to you can't do both. And if you do the other one, the one that's all about the publisher, then what you're doing with the exclusive stuff doesn't make sense. So hopefully this means that if they really are going towards the part of like, we want to try to be number one in console. We want to try to be a player again, instead of being, oh, we're just out here having fun because we're Xbox, right? We want to be actually in the conversation again. So, it'd be awesome if Xbox is actually the best console again, because I love my Xbox. I still play my Xbox. I still turn it on every day, even though I play more stuff on my laptop now. But like, I think they just got to I'd love to know when we get to the point of, okay, when the reset is done, what are we doing? I want to hear what we're doing at now. What's the actual plan for the future, aside from, okay, you showed us some awesome games at the showcase and those are all exciting, and everything else. I want to hear all of that stuff. So hopefully once we get past whatever this 100 days is, which is the heartbreaking part, the part that's going to suck, the part that we're going to have to talk about terrible things nobody wants to hear about, which is people losing jobs and all that stuff. I just really hope that they have a focus and a goal, and they don't deviate from that, and we don't start talking out both sides of our mouth again, and we don't start going, oh, we're going to do a little bit over here and a little bit over there. It's like, nah, this is where we're going. That's it. Tunnel vision. We're going here. That's it. Satya, stop investing in freaking AI and screwing us over. And, hopefully the AI bubble would just die and we don't have to worry about that part. And then, we're headed to Xbox being cool again, being good again. So.
And then once AI dies, and get back to NFTs.
No, let's not go to that cycle again, please. We should clear that. Let's not. But listen, we'll see if this week is the week that something happens or not. Hopefully not. But if it does, then we'll talk about it on the next episode.
Right.
Unfortunately, we do have to talk about. Well, I should also mention too that apparently, if you're one to play Halo Campaign Evolved on PS5, you're gonna have to use the Xbox gamer tag. So if you don't have an Xbox gamer tag, you want to play Halo.
I get this idea, like link your account to it or something. But
yeah, you can.
It's better than like what was initially said, where both players need to have like PS5 or PS Plus.
Yeah, PS Plus. That's bad. Like.
Don't
make people have to jump through more hoops to play your damn game.
Right. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that you need to do sign in at all, really.
PlayStation does it. So they do it with BattleNet. They do it with all the other stuff. Like
I mean, especially for like a couch co-op game.
Yeah.
Like.
But I mean, they basically they want to know who's playing. Essentially, that's just their way of knowing who's playing.
Make a guest account and be like, here you go.
Yeah. But moving on from that, also I mentioned that Sea of Thieves is getting a movie.
It won't happen, but go on.
Why do you have to like be the, you don't have to negative Nancy it before it's even like been a thing. But
yes, I do, because so many movie projects get announced and nothing ever happens. So
I know what you mean, but at least they have Matt Booty on here talking about look, the main character of Sea of Thieves is the game, is the actual player and the community. So if you sit down and think about Sea of Thieves, it's not who are the main characters. What's the plot? It's a super social game, but there's a ton of Sea of Thieves. It's built on a very cooperative community. So what are they going to do for the movie? Oh, yeah.
That just sounds like Captain N, the Game Master, where like some kid gets sucked into Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, that's true. But it does have Destin Daniel Cretton set to produce, which, with his company Hisaku Films, which, he's worked with Marvel on Shang-Chi and Wonder Man, which is freaking great. People should go watch that show. And Spider-Man and the Brand New Day, which hasn't come out yet, but looks like it's going to be really good too. So at least they got a really good producer. So, that's a start, better than not having anything, just saying.
Don't worry. Once that what was it? Split Fiction movie comes out, then I'll eat my hat finally.
I guess we'll see.
Wait, that's the joke. Is it's never coming out or never?
I know.
Or that Metal Gear Solid movie that was in development for like a decade and nothing ever happened.
But hey, at least they revived that now, and it looks like it's more certain to happen now than it was. So
yeah.
CI Games has delayed Lords of the Fallen 2. Not the first time this game's been delayed. It's now going to release in Q1 2027. And as is typical for this kind of thing, their gameplay feedback team has basically said that there's a lot of enhancements that will benefit from additional integration, iteration, and polishing time. So they're going to take that time to release the game in a better state at a different time of the year. I think that's fine. How many people were really anticipating Lords of the Fallen 2, to be honest?
By improvements, they should just get what is it, From Software to make it.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the easy thing, but they want to do their own thing. So EA is doing a third round of layoffs, according to Kotaku. These are not people involved with game development. It is apparently just like IT and customer support and trust and safety people and recruitment, which these people all matter. I'm not saying they don't.
Well, this is designed to help them with their new EA advertising initiative.
Yeah, we are all owned by the Saudis. Get ready for that.
Right.
93.4%, if you forgot, it's going to be owned by them at some point next year, probably. Sadly, but it is what it is.
And then for some reason, the Saudi team will be the best team in that soccer game.
Yo, don't start messing with EA Sports FC. Just
Why does the Saudi team have a rating of 200% when every other team is like 80?
Yeah, they just start putting like random players on that Saudi team just to like.
I didn't know Messi was part of the Saudis, but okay.
I mean, Ronaldo has now been transplanted over to instead of playing for Portugal.
Yeah.
But sad news. Some indie development teams have been shut down. Including Mio Memories of Orbit, which is a cool little Metroidvania game that came out earlier this year. Keith reviewed it for Outer Haven, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, man. I can't say Dos de Semis is closing its doors. They had a small little group of 10 people working. They were founded in 2017. They were acquired by Focus Entertainment in 2021 because Focus wanted to show that they are supporting the French development scene. They came out with this cool little game this year, and then, wow, didn't even last 6 months after that.
And it lasted longer than another team that just put out a game like a month ago and got shut the fuck down.
Yep. Luna Abyss, which that game is actually interesting. Both these games are on Game Pass. Mio Memories of Orbit is on Game Pass. It was the first like kind of known game to launch for this year, and then Luna Abyss also came to Game Pass when it came out on May 21st. The entire, which that game is really cool. You should also go play that. It was made redundant by Koali, their publisher, including the CEO of Koali Labs. So that's not really good. Of course, Koali is a UK company. They were founded 15 years ago, so they've been around a while. And unfortunately, that whole team is now just been dismissed. Gosh, that absolutely sucks. I hate seeing stuff like that. Absolutely can't hate seeing look, I get it. A lot of game companies or game development teams, they don't make it to their second game or whatever, but just seeing them be dissolved after a month is absolutely disheartening. And to put on top of that, Don't Nod, which I feel like this is not the first time that they've run out of cash or run out of funding or whatever.
I think this is the first major time though.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
So Don't Nod is apparently going to run out of funding later this year unless they secure new investment. Obviously, Aphelion came out and did not set the world on fire. They've been around for a long time as well. They've been around since 2008. They sold a part of their stake to Tencent in 2020, which Tencent themselves have also started looking into how they get out of some of their investments, especially in the Japanese studios. So not only are NetEase doing that, now Tencent is trying to do that as well. Interesting what these Chinese companies are doing with Japanese studios, which is not great either. And Don't Nod has kind of been around. They've been making a lot of games. And Tencent does not intend to inject more money into the business in the short term, nor fund any games it currently has in development. It has 8.8 million. It's kind of there right now. They have other games in development that we know, and don't know what's going to happen with those games, unfortunately.
I mean, I like Don't Nod, but they kind of ran into the same problem that Telltale ran into. Only Telltale's problem is they focused way too much on licensed crap.
And they had too many going on at the same time.
Yeah. Don't Nod, their problem is their technology didn't really evolve much. It seemed. And all their ideas, past maybe Life is Strange 2, just no one cared. Or it just seemed very out there. And I know, I think Lost
or they
Records
became derivative of the same thing.
Yeah, it just kind of looked like I was like, oh, this is another Don't Nod game. Lost Records is Blooming Rage. It's yep, I can see the DNA completely, but it just didn't seem like they were evolving that much. Or Twin Mirror. It's okay.
Yeah, and then they were also a publisher as well, which they had quite a few of their games, not like Vampire that didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I played that game. I think I reviewed it, and it's that's not a good game, but I gave credit at least to that game because it was way outside their wheelhouse.
Yeah. The one game that came out that I really, really loved was Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. That was really good.
And that was just 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I loved their first game. I loved Remember Me.
Yeah, Remember Me was great. Tell Me Why was fine. That was they're kind of Life is Strange, but it's not Life is Strange.
The one, I mean, I don't know how much they're going to get for it. Well, they're not going to get anything for it, I should say. So I was going to say they might get some money from that TV show, but Square owns that now, so they're not getting shit.
I don't even
make a Remember Me TV show.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, right? Square is the one making money off the Life is Strange thing. So
yep.
But I think that's it.
I mean, there are a few deaths that one of the Ubisoft brother creative brothers passed away. Yeah.
Yeah, Claude Guillemot passed in a tragic plane accident where he's basically teaching him. He had a flight instructor trying to teach him how to fly a Cessna.
Yeah.
And it crashed, unfortunately.
And
He's one of the founders of Ubisoft.
yeah, he wasn't like involved in the company anymore, but
Yeah, still.
and then the Doom composer,
Yeah,
uh,
Doom Composer Pass as well.
right? And hey, it's Sonic's 35th birthday.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear that like they almost like stopped making Sonic games after a while, and like then it kind of got revived, and now look at where Sonic's at now. So
Right.
knocking
He
it in
ain't,
across worlds.
he ain't no Billy Hatcher.
Yeah,
And
that's
I think it's the N64's like 30th birthday also, at least in like Japan. Came out a few months later in America, but
hey, rock on to the N64. Still getting love on Switch Online. So
yep.
there's that, I guess.
Jeff's gonna start reviewing all the N64 games now, which is going to be highly entertaining.
But there is games that are coming out this week that we should talk about. As Deltarune Chapter 5 is coming for free if you already have Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4. So go for it, everybody that's excited for Deltarune. Play some more. I know y'all are excited for that. Star Fox, the remake of Star Fox 64, also comes out on the 25th, which is Thursday. So, yeah, go play that. The Dead or Alive 6 Last Round also comes to PS5 and Xbox Series X. So if you've still been waiting on that to come out, you can go check that out too. So, and I think that's kind of it. Aside from like, are we there yet? It's finally coming to Xbox, and yeah, everything is. But still, I'm sure a lot of people are excited about Star Fox somewhat.
Yens is, which I still find is crazy.
I would be if it was on
Cheaper.
the cheap end.
I would be if it was on the introduced any new gameplay systems end. He was like, "Oh, I played the demo and it's really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was good 25 years ago too.
Yeah,
30
it's
years
the same
ago."
game.
So.
It's the same. It's the same game. Not that there's anything wrong with that because remakes come out all the time, and you deliver that same experience. So
At least with like, I mean, I don't mind remakes if they like Resident Evil or Final Fantasy VII. They at least introduce new shit.
but that's different. Like they intentionally went out and said, "Let's do that." Like most remakes don't do that though.
Right.
And then you get the people that get really mad when you do that. So
Yeah.
it's like
I saw some like crazy guy complaining about Final Fantasy VII remake, like how it's worse than the original game. I'm like, you are
guys,
crazy.
it's not supposed to be the original game. Stop doing that. Like,
or like
play
how
the
it was
original
like,
game then.
or like it was like it was like dramatically worse, or just like it has like no positives at all compared to like the original. I was like, whoa, okay.
Oh damn, Rhythm Heaven Groove comes out next week. Shit.
Which one?
Rhythm Heaven Groove. Might
Oh.
actually use my Switch.
All right.
Also, Adventures of Elliot has been out already, and apparently it's awesome. And now I have to go buy that thing on Friday so I can play it finally.
That was the other funny thing. I think it was like last week. It was like the Switch 2 first year anniversary.
It's a couple weeks ago, yeah.
And I had to think like, how much have I used my Switch 2? And I was like, I've used it for 3 games, and only 2 of them were Switch 2 games. So
I've only used it for Bonanza and Mario Kart and
this is how
something else I can't think of. Yeah,
I used it for Bonanza and Metroid Prime.
Okay.
And Theater Rhythm, but that doesn't count. That's a Switch 1 game.
Yeah, I play that all the time too. Man.
I still have like an unused Mario Kart code.
Really? You haven't even played that thing?
No. I'm like, I don't know. Do I really want to even care about downloading this? Or just maybe it's just.
I was surprised they haven't done anything with that game. Really, like I figured one of the things that they would announce is DLC at the.
I think they do like very small updates.
Right.
Very small, but it's not like, oh, here's every track from Mario Kart 64 or anything like that. It's just like, no, we just.
I think they're gonna wait until like there's we got to hit the button to have more content thing. So
I
right
I
now,
don't think they're gonna do anything at all. I think they're just gonna work on Mario Kart 9.
really,
Because I don't think this game. I don't think people were not like enthused about World Tour as much as like
no,
Mario
they
Kart
weren't.
8.
And also,
So
like the having that free roam thing was supposed to be a big deal, and it wound up being like a total wet fart. Like it's just
yeah,
kind of like nothing. So,
right.
but all right,
So,
that's it. I think for this week's episode, we will be back next week
yep.
with more stuff to talk about. So until then, everybody, see you later.
Later.